I was in a rock bottom state of absolute desperation. A heroin addict, a crack addict, an alcoholic. Every aspect of my behaviour was problematic. It was clear that I needed intervention. A curious thing that I'll mention at this early stage of the journey that we're on together is that what I was looking for, curiously, and this is not something that I'd have been able to appreciate if you would have plainly told me, what I was looking for was an awakening. So firstly, we identify what we want to change. For the purposes of this exercise, my example is like my use of tech. Like, I can be even more specific than that. Looking at my phone in the morning, first thing when I wake up. The reason I'm using that, even though it seems a bit minor and trivial, is that I'm going to operate on the assumption that if you're sitting there withdrawing from heroin or on your way to score more, that for a start, you will require additional medical, psychiatric and therapeutic support. I suppose that's why the addiction metaphor is a good one. Stimulus response as a means for living. This is the way that consumerism and materialism operate. This is why I think addiction is rife, because we are continually taught that we can fulfill ourselves, improve ourselves, advance ourselves with the acquisition of an external material object or through the validation and approval of other people. Any behaviour that you're engaged in, that you want to change, and when you try to change it or try to stop it, you can't, I think can rightly be referred to as addiction. To keep it specific again, what benefits can I have? What benefits could I expect from changing my phone use? Again, if you're talking about stopping drinking alcohol, the benefits are obvious. I'm going to save money, I'm going to feel healthier, I'm going to lose weight, I'm not going to feel that constant despair of alcoholism, vomiting and belching my way for every day, when it's something seemingly minor like phone use. So take a moment to acknowledge what it is you want to change, to make a commitment to it. So for me, as I've said, I don't want to be dependent on my phone for approval anymore. I don't want my phone to be anything other, in fact, than a tool for communication. Step 2 in the original form is we came to believe that power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. There's a lot to unpack in there, really. Firstly, the idea that we're acknowledging that our behaviour has been insane. Secondly, that there is a power greater than ourselves. That's an interesting thing to address, because often unconsciously, while we're embedded in our problem, we're accepting and inhabiting this kind of odd negative omnipotence. I'm worthless, I'm a terrible person, my life is a mess, and yet somehow I'm the ultimate authority in my own life, unable to conceive even of a power greater than myself. Completely consumed by selfishness, completely consumed by self-centeredness. Step 2 is about hope. Whether it's hope that you can change substance misuse, hope that you can change the way that you treat your partner, whatever it is, it's inviting and accepting the possibility of change. That there is a power that can change you from a person that drinks and takes drugs to a person who doesn't drink and take drugs, to a person who's obsessed about what other people think of you and don't feel good enough unless you get continual approval, to a person who can quite happily live without that. And here is another key component: one day at a time. None of us can ever attack the glacial edifice of forever. It's too much for us. Not to mention, it's an abstract concept. You will never be living the whole rest of your life in one particular moment. You will be living your life in tiny, bite-sized chunks. Step 3 is, are you on your own gonna yourself? Or, put another way, if the answer to your problems was in your own head, you would have found it by now. In the original formulation, step 3 is written, we made a decision to turn our life and our will over to the care of God as we understood God. This is an acknowledgement that our plan is not working. But what we've been doing up till now, whether it's habitual drinking, habitual drug use, or obsessive looking at the phone, is no longer a successful method for dealing with the problem of being you. It's a willingness to let go of your plan. Culture is not your friend, culture is your prison. So I'm willing to be redeemed. I'm willing to let go of myself. I'm willing to become teachable because I've seen the results of my life. And if you are embarking on this course, then evidently you've seen the results of your life up till now too.